Hi, I'm Maggie Olson from Wellness Adventuring LLC, and this is Love from Maggie. This week we don't have a letter, so I thought I would talk with you about another subject that's really important to me, and that is compassion, specifically compassion for ourselves, because I think that if we aren't able to be compassionate towards ourselves, if we aren't able to turn that lens inward, then it actually makes it harder for us to be compassionate towards others. So, if you aren't interested in being more compassionate with yourself as kind of its own means to an end, then maybe the idea that it will actually help you be more compassionate with other people out in the world, not just strangers, but also your nearest and dearest and your friends. So if you want to think about it that way, then I think it's worth pursuing and worth putting some energy and attention into. So the reason this topic is coming up today is I've been having a lot of conversations with people lately, and basically the subtext of what they're saying in many, many different ways, many different iterations. But essentially, what I'm hearing from people, from clients, from friends, from people that I truly love, um, the subtext is, I'm sorry I'm not good enough. However, however they're defining that, whether it's not being able to put on a happy face during a difficult time, or they're they're feeling like their conversation is not what they want to have right now. Whatever it is, what I'm really hearing from them is, I'm sorry for being human. I'm sorry for not being perfect. And this topic is just so important to me because I spent so many years trying to be perfect. Um, I spent so many years apologizing to people for for not being perfect, for being human, for saying the wrong thing or having bad timing, whatever it was. I just spent a lot of time apologizing and basically saying to the people that I love, I'm sorry that I'm not good enough. I'm sorry that I don't deserve you. And it's so destructive, really. It's such a toxic thought pattern. And that's where self compassion is so, so important in giving us a larger perspective, really, about who we are, about these kind of little moments in time where maybe we're not able to be our best. And instead of turning that into kind of a weapon that we can use against ourselves, self compassion really gives us a different lens for it. So think, if you can, of a situation where you might have had a conversation with somebody where you were basically apologizing to them for being yourself, and think about what exactly you did or what you said, whatever it was that made you feel like, oh, I feel really extra bad about myself for that. And try imagining that they had done it in your place. And how would you feel if somebody that you loved said the wrong thing, or they were having a hard time and they weren't their normal selves, and maybe they were withdrawn, or maybe even lashed out a little bit? How would you feel if somebody that you love did that to you? Would you judge them harshly? Would you hold it against them? the next time you saw them, if we're talking about something minor, and all of the incidents that I am trying to obliquely refer to are incredibly minor things, would you even remember the next day that it had happened? Probably not. And if you did, you probably wouldn't think badly of them for it. And I think that you would not have a difficult time being loving and accepting towards them, despite the fact that they made this gaffe. So try giving yourself that same amount of kind of non-judgmental acceptance that you're willing to give to the people that you love. And remind yourself that there's nobody in this world who's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have flaws. We all have things that we don't like about ourselves, things that we would probably change about ourselves if someone gave us a magic wand and said, here you go. Take away one thing about yourself. I think it would be hard for a lot of us to choose just one. But again, that's a pretty universal condition. So give yourself permission to be human. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. And when you've made them, try to really look at yourself in the eyes and say, that's okay. It's not ideal that happened, that you said that you were in that situation, but it's okay. You're doing the best that you can. Because 99% of the time, that's absolutely the truth. You're doing the best you can. And you're not perfect. And that's okay. It really is. The things that I think a lot of us would shave off of ourselves if we could, the things that we would use that magic wand to erase, some of those are qualities that other people around us deeply appreciate about us and love the most about us, really. Because we're all human. We all appreciate each other's humanity. And I think that if we can just be a little bit more compassionate with ourselves, if we can just be a little bit more accepting of the fact that we aren't perfect, then hopefully we'll feel less of a need to apologize for ourselves. And hopefully we'll be a little more willing to acknowledge how awesome we actually are. And I don't mean let's all get these gigantic egos and, smash over other people or anything like that, but just this loving acceptance toward ourselves. I think that we would all be a little bit happier. And I think that by being more loving toward ourselves, it helps us to be more loving and accepting of other people as well. So I hope that I've given you a little bit to think about today. And I really hope that the next time you have the urge to apologize for being yourself, take a minute and switch places with that person and see if they had done or said what you did or said. Would you expect an apology from them? Would you want an apology from them? Or would you just not think anything of it? And if it's something that seems really minor, if somebody else did it, then try forgiving yourself for it and accepting that you're doing the best you can. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Love, from Maggie.